Hey guys, Father Anthony here, Father Airtime, and I just want to first and foremost thank you for watching. If you like this video, like it and subscribe to my channel, that'd be awesome. So I thought maybe for my first video of 2025, it would be a great chance to share with you all my top 10 roller coasters. Before any other theme park adventures, this list could look different in not so long of a time. So, number 10, Skyrush, Hershey Park. Insane ride. I did not think it would be that great looking at the on-ride POVs on YouTube. It did not seem all that impressive. I remember when it first opened, I was like, meh, I don't really care. But dang, that ride blew me away this year. I rode it with the brand new restraint systems that Hershey Park put on there, and it was excellent. The forces, the positives and the negatives, so good. So that's number 10. Number 9 is Twisted Timbers. A little bit closer to home for me. I grew up going to Kings Dominion pretty often back in high school and college. Twisted Timbers does not disappoint. That is one of the greatest airtime machines on the planet. It's the best small Rocky Mountain construction coaster that I've ridden yet. I've also ridden Storm Chaser down at Kentucky Kingdom, and I thought Twisted Timbers was better. Airtime's better. I like the layout more. It's an added bonus that it's a lot closer to home. Awesome coaster. I love those airtime pops, and the fact that this ride killed Hurler makes it that much better. Number 8 is another Rocky Mountain construction project, Air Force One. So maybe you watched my vlog from last year. This was kind of the first of my theme park adventures that I went on, the crazy adventures. I decided to just go on a day trip down to Atlanta. I jumped on an airplane. I rode this roller coaster 20 times, and then I flew home that night. One of the coolest experiences of my life, and this coaster is one of the best. I love the patriotic color scheme. I love the elements on this thing. I love the airtime, and it's even better that you can ride it so much. So if you can get out to Atlanta, go and ride this thing, Air Force One, stupendous coaster. Number 7, we're going to America's Roller Coaster for Maverick. This used to be a lot higher on my list back in the day. I used to ride roller coasters a lot more in like high school, college days. So now, I'm going back to some of these parks that I haven't been to for a long time. I hadn't been to Cedar Point since like 2008, 2009 era. And so Maverick was one of those coasters that I was like, man, I hope it's as good as I remember. And it is. The whippy transitions, the speed, the intensity. I love that mid-ride launch. Still one of the best. And it has inspired so many other rides. You can kind of see the influence it has had. It's just one of those rides that changed the entire ball game. So that's number 7 for me. Number 6 is a little bit more controversial. So a lot of people have this a lot higher on their lists. Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Really great ride, so good, but I think I had way too high of expectations for this thing. I had it like going into Busch Gardens, Tampa, I had it already basically like the number 1 spot reserved in my top 10. I'm like, it's gonna be number 1. And it just wasn't quite there. Maybe I hyped it up too much. I'm looking forward to getting back there. I'm planning a little crazy trip down to Tampa this year. So I want to reevaluate this coaster. It's one of those that I'm like, I need another crack at this thing. Plus the day that I was at Busch Gardens, Tampa, there were like a million, perhaps 3 million high schoolers all wearing the same t-shirt. And so it was really hard to get on this ride. It was a long line that day. I only ended up riding it 2 times. So I don't think I have a firm enough grasp on this thing, and I'm looking forward to getting back to try it again. So until then, it is at number 6. What's number 5? Let's move forward. Number 5 is another one of those coasters that like, it was one of those that just completely rocked my world back in college. El Toro. So I haven't been back to Six Flags Great Adventure since probably 2008 or 9. I can't remember, one of those years. And El Toro was my number 1 coaster back then. The memories of this ride are just, and just the experiences that I had on this ride are one of the biggest reasons why I'm a roller coaster enthusiast. When you hear it going over those hills, and it just feels like, it sounds like the train is about to pop off the tracks. That's how crazy it is. Now, I've heard that maybe since its opening year, since those first couple of years, it has declined a bit. Maybe it's not as smooth, and maybe it's a little bit more janky, but man, it's still up there for me. And so until I rewrite it, it is at number 5. Number 4, Fury 325. So this is by far and away the best B&M that I've ever ridden. It's probably the best one on the planet from what I can tell. 325 foot drop. It literally feels like you are dropping forever. Some of these big rides like Millennium Force, yeah, you're dropping 300 feet. The drop is over before you even know it. I don't know how else to put it. There's something about the profiling of the drop itself that you're kind of halfway down before you even know that you're dropping. That is not the case with Fury 325. It's one of those rides that you feel every foot of that drop, and it's phenomenal. It's a speed monster. It is so crazy how those bank turns near the ground and swooping underneath the bridge and coming around. Like, you feel all of the speed, and there's great airtime as well. Wow. I'm so grateful that it's actually the closest park to me. Carowinds is. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm currently serving at a parish down in Christiansburg, Virginia. And so technically speaking, Carowinds, I guess, is my home park right now, even though I didn't grow up going to it. But it's about 2 hours, 45 minutes away from me. And so Fury, so glad that's so close to me. I mean, 2 hours and 45 minutes is not that close, but it's closer to me than anything else, and I'm glad. Number 3 is one that a lot of people would probably have number 1 over all. Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, otherwise lovingly known as Steve. So Steel Vengeance, I rode it, I think 4 times this past summer, and it blew me away. It's just relentless. The airtime, if you are a fan of airtime, this is your roller coaster. It just is constant, out of your seat, just over and over and over, airtime hill after airtime hill after airtime hill. With that said, it's kind of crazy. I don't know why, but I have number 2 beating it, Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park. So that's maybe not a very popular opinion, but I have it higher than Steel Vengeance because, and I think the reason is that, well, for one thing, I think my expectations were lower for Wildcats Revenge, and so it just completely blew my face wide off. But secondly, I think that the layout is so well done on Wildcats Revenge. The pacing is phenomenal. The transitions between the elements I found to be just so so well done, so solid. And the airtime on that thing, I mean, my thighs were hurting. Like, there were bruises like the next day after riding that sucker. So it has the airtime, it has the unique, interesting layout. I think Steel Vengeance, one of the common criticisms for it is that it's a little bit on the repetitive side. And I don't think that Wildcats Revenge suffers from that. So for the time being anyways, Wildcats Revenge, number 2. And now we come to my number 1 roller coaster. And that would have to be Velocicoaster at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. So, I mean, what can you say? This ride, chef's kiss, as they say. It's got everything. It's got amazing theming from head to toe. It kind of is broken down into 2 different rides, really. Like, you got the first half with the cool theming and the rock work and the twists and the turns and flying around in the middle of a raptor paddock. It feels like you're about to get eaten by a dinosaur. It's like you really are stepping into Jurassic Park, but you're on a roller coaster for some reason. So that was awesome. But then you make that turn and you go into that 70 mile per hour mid-ride launch. And it's just it takes it to the next level. It goes from world-class ride to the world's best ride. And you go into that top hat, you go into the stall, you go over the kind of that spaghetti bowl, overbank turn situation over near Hogsmeade. And then, of course, the coup de grace, the moment that changes the ball game for roller coasters forever, the Mosasaurus roll. I mean, that thing is trying to get you to like get thrown out into the lake. You get the crazy forces, crazy airtime on an inversion. Yeah, I mean, what a finale for a roller coaster. So that's why it's number one for me. But tell me what you think about my top 10 if you would leave a comment. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm maybe right. And but you know, we'll see. I'm excited for this coming season. I'm looking forward to riding some really world-class rides, especially I'm heading out to Silver Dollar City, hopefully, and Holiday World. I think that there's a few rides at those parks that have a chance at cracking into the top 10. So we'll see. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited to share those trips with you guys. I'm going to be posting vlogs from those trips, so stay tuned. And yeah, so like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking this video, subscribing. Father Anthony signing out, Father Airtime. And yeah, take care and God bless you guys.